Hey guys, this is Derek from Them Nature Boys. Kind of thought of a new trick for some big cans that are resealable. Um, for a while, I've been thinking about how am I going to cook water and heat stuff up, especially when it's cold out. Then it hit me that I could find one of these cans in your local stores, and they were resealable with the twist tops on it. So I figured that's a big plus. So, so I've actually thought of a few different ways of reusing these. One of them is actually to heat up liquids like water or put snow in it and heat it up so that way you don't have to worry about burning the plastic or anything like that. Um, and of course these are metal, so they can handle the heat, the cold a little bit better than most plastics can. Um, and since it's resealable, it's also waterproof too. So you get at that airtight seal, just so nothing can get in or out of it. One problem is you don't want to have the top on it when you're cooking, because that will build pressure and that can explode. Um, we'll probably show you that later on, like during the summer or whatever. But right now, I'll show you some of the uses that you can get out of these. Um, One of them, as you can see, would be holding liquids and cooking. Another would be actually using it as a dry um, protector, so that way you can put your matches or flour or basically anything that's dry in it too, just so that way you get that dry seal, and it also keep it from getting soaked, so that way you ain't gotta worry about if you're going in water or whatever. Um, is to actually keep the top on it, just so that way if you go under, nothing's gonna get in it, nothing's gonna come out of it. Another thing that I also thought of was the possibility of using it as a water purification system, since you can actually build pressure or at least cook with it. Um, I could actually put a hole in the top and actually have a tube coming out of it, and then have something to cool off the steam with it, so that way you'll actually get clean uh, filtered water out of it. So say you're near like a body of salty water, you could actually use this with a hole in it and something coming out of the top to actually purify it and have the salt actually sapped out of it, which that could actually be a two-in-one system where you're getting pure water and salt out of it. The water you can drink or cook with or whatever. The salt can be used for other things. For what yet, I'm not actually sure. That's something I'll actually think of a little bit later on. Um, but other than that, one of the things I will be doing is actually heating up the water in one of these, just to show you how it's done and stuff like that. You don't want to put these directly in the fire, only for one reason is you don't want everything boiling out or putting the fire out, and two, if you actually put it directly in the fire, it'll actually be too hot to actually take out of it by hand, which is why I'm also wearing gloves, just to protect my hand from either both freezing and being burnt. Um, Another thing is when you actually put something in, have the top off, and when you actually go to take it out, you do this, you move it, then take the top right off, just so it doesn't build any pressure, and it'll also help cool it a little bit faster. Um, yes, I do have a fire going right now, hence my blinking and stuff like that, because the smoke's kind of getting my eyes temporarily. Um, but I will show you guys how to actually cook liquids and stuff like that from your average tin can like this. Um, as of right now, I'm just trying to get the fire, hot enough to where I can actually cook with it. Other than that, um, we'll get right back at it and show you how it's done. Hey guys, this is Derek. Just to show you the can of water that I got. got the fire built. I know I said not to put it directly in the fire, but at the moment, that's all we really got. And so I'll show you how to actually do it. Make sure you have gloves on and stuff. You're covered. As you can see, I got some of my arm exposed, but I'm gonna make necessary precautions to make sure I don't get burned. As you can see, I have like a little shelf right here, and that sits perfectly right there. All you do is just let it sit and let it cook. And as you can see, there, you know, the difference in temperature and stuff like that, it's actually going to cook really well. That'll actually help boil it and stuff like that. That way you actually have warm water in the end. I have the cap right here, just so that way if I want to take it out, all I'd have to do is just twist it on, pull it out, set it down, let it cool, while I actually twist the top off. That way, I don't have to worry about my fingers getting burned or anything like that. I can make sure it's quick, painless, and out of the fire. Other than that, that's one way to actually cook a fire. That's actually one way I thought of, you know, with new stuff today. That way you ain't gotta worry about going out finding stuff to cook with or anything like that. Just get a can like that, fill it with liquid, snow, water, whatever. Get a fire going, boom, you got hot water. Other than that, that's one of the few ways to actually reuse a resealable can. We'll show you some other stuff that you can also do with it too. That will actually be coming up later. Other than that, we hope you guys learned something here today and use it to the best of your knowledge out in the nature. Guys, as you can see, we use the cans for boiling water and stuff. Here's actually a couple of different effects. This one on my right happened to be cans full of water. I also did it, set it like right on the fire. As you can see, it's still whole and stuff, and you know, still reusable. Whereas this one, this goes to show what happens if you actually don't have enough water and the fire gets too hot for it, or if the water boils out, it'll end up ruining your can. That way you only end up getting left with something like this. As you can see, it's not very much. These were 24 ounces. As you can see, this is a bigger can. This one is just mangled. Only because, you know, the fire got too hot, of course. One of the things is if you actually want it to be reused, that's why you actually want to set these not in the fire but off, so that way you still get the heat and still be able to actually make it hot enough to boil. Also, you want to make sure you have it full before you actually do anything with it. Otherwise, you'll end up getting a can like this. If you have a full thing of water, it'll actually stay hotter longer, only because you simply have more of it. Also, if you want, you can also get like a grate to put over top of it, so that way you can actually set these right on top, and you know, in like a corner or whatever off to the side, so that way you're still getting the direct heat, but not as much. Is like I said before, as you can see, the top is still clean. The rest of this is black, only from the fire. You also want to keep this off when you're heating things up, because you know, things tend to expand and you need something to actually let the heat escape. And having this on is like a pressure cooker. The hotter it gets, the more it wants to expand, but it can't go out. So it'll literally burst. Which that will be something we will show you later on in one of the later videos. And of course, we'll do it in a safe manner, so that way nobody ends up getting hurt. Because when this flies, it is actually hot and sharp, so it can either burn you or cut you. Very, very good. Other than that, that's our free video for how to boil water using your regular resealable cans. Another thing would be a dry use for them, like putting matches or anything inside of them to keep it watertight, waterproof. That way, none of the water can get in. Like having the top on and heat can't get out. Same basic concept. Um, Another thing was, um, what was it? I'm forgetting something. There were like three things: boiling the water, dry,
Mm, cooking, I guess.
cooking, like storage or yes, that's right. Um, Cleaning, like making clean water, or like a mini still. Um, like I said, just put a little hole in the top here. Yes, that's actually kind of dangerous. What you want to do is actually drill a hole right here, and you want to get a tube that can handle some of the heat, and actually put it in here.
Let
Yeah.
them do whatever.
So anyway, put a hole here and get a tube long enough to where it can handle the heat, and then taper it down, so that way you can actually cool off the steam and condense it back into water. That's known as distilling or cleaning water. A lot of people actually do it. It's one of the simpler, easier ways to do it. You can get massive amounts of water, boil it down, and sterilize it. Basically, make sure it's drinkable. You can do that with salt water, any type of water, just as long as it's boiled down. It pretty much um, gets out the toxins and stuff like that. Other than that, that basically kind of was a two-in-one. Boiling down water and heating it up, killing whatever bacteria is in the water. Other than that, we'll show you more videos on the dry uses, such as putting flour or coffee grinds or your basic necessities like matches, string, anything like that. Put it right in the can, and if you want, you can actually tie a string right around it, just so that way it'll actually be connected to your hand, whereas this one hasn't. And say you lose your grip, it's gone. Other than that, those are some of the uses for the cans that we have, and we'll show you some other cool stuff that we can find around. Hope you guys keep in contact, and hope you guys enjoy.